Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya Vrindadevi Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya Vrindadevi Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Vrindayai Tulsi Devyai Priyayai Kesava Sacha. Vishnu Bhakti Pare Devi Satyavachai Namo Namaha. Tulsi Maharani. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Damadhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Rajatana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiranachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiranachari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Chila Prabhupada. Nitya Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gora Hari Bol. Namo Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Asatara Sata His Divine Grace Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyamasundar Radha Kunda Griva Vardhan Ki Vrindavan Dham Ki Mayapur Dham Ki, Jagannath Puri Dham Ki, Ganga Mai Ki, Yamuna Mai Ki, Tulsi Devi Ki, Bhakti Devi Ki, Vrihad Vridanga Ki, Hare Krishna Mahamantra Ki, Harinam Sankirtan Ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the lotus feet of Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, good morning. So today we're going to be studying from the Srimad Bhagavatam, the 10th canto, chapter 54, verse 24. And if there is time, maybe verse 25. Dhanur Vikrishya Sudridham Yakne Krishnam Tribhesharahi Aha Chatrakshanam Tishta Yadunam Pulapam Sana Dhanurvikrishya Sudridham Yakne Krishnam Tribhesharahi Ahachatrakshanam Tishta Yadunam Pulapam Sana Dhanurvikrishya Sudridham Yakna Krishnam Tribhesharahi Ahachatrakshanam Tishta Yadunam Kulapam Sana. Devotees, Dhanurvikrishya Sudridham Ahachatrakshanam Tishta Yadunam Kulapam Sana Dhanurvikrishya Sudridham Yaknet Krishnam Tribhesharahi Ahachatrakshanam Tishta Yadunam Kulapam Sanam Dhanurvikrishya Sudridham Yakne Krishnam Tribhesharahi Ahachatrakshanam Tishta Yadunam Kulapam Sana Dhanurvikrishya Sudridham Yakne Krishnam Tribhesharahi Ahachatrakshanam tishta yadunam kulapam sana Dhanuhu, his bow. Vikrisha, drawing. Su, very. Dridham, firmly. Yakne, he struck. Krishnam, Lord Krishna. Tribihi, with three. Sharahi, arrows. Aha, he said. Cha, and. Atra, here. Kshanam, a moment. Tishta, stand. Yadunam, or the Yadus. Kula, or the dynasty. Pamsana, or corruptor. Translation and purport by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Rukmi drew his bow with great strength and struck Lord Krishna with 3 arrows. Then he said, stand here for a moment, O defiler of the Yadu dynasty. Let's read this together. Rukmini drew his bow with great strength and struck Lord Krishna with 3 arrows. Then he said, stand here for a moment, O defiler of the Yadu dynasty. Purport by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, Srila Siddhar Swami points out that Kula Pamsana may be understood as a combination of the words Kulapa, O master of the Yadu dynasty, and Amsana, O expert killer of enemies. The Acharya gives the grammatical details that make this interpretation possible. Om Gyana Chimirandasya, Chkananjana Sakaya Chakturum Militanyena Tasma Shri Gurave Namaha. Suchitanya Manavasthan Stapitanya Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadama Hyanda Dati Swapadantika. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutedevi Pranamami Haripriya Vancha Kalpataruvyaschа Kripa Sindhu Yavacha Patitanam Pavanevya Vaishnavevya Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Today is a very joyous day because we're chanting the Maha Mantra, the holy name of the Supreme, the holy names of the Supreme Lord. So I'm going to give a little bit of background information on this verse before we deal with the verse itself. There are these extraordinary commentaries by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Jiva Goswami, and other verses have also Sanatana Goswami's commentaries. So when we listen to these classes every morning on the subject of Rukmini being kidnapped by Krishna, taken away, and then the fight that ensues after that, the battle that goes on after the kidnapping of Rukmini, there are so many points that are being made in the commentaries by the Acharyas. So I'm going to go over some of the commentaries from previous verses that were not brought up, and it is highly recommended that we all get stock of these commentaries, that we get somebody to help us install the commentaries on our phones or our computers so that we can also follow not just the commentaries or the purports that sometimes are not there by the disciples of Prabhupada, but also by the commentaries of these super excellent acharyas. So I'm going to read something from the Gopal Champu, and then I'll read from the Krishna book. So here we know that the armies have already left, and Shishupal was incapable of actually facing Krishna. when they saw that, when the army saw that, Jarasandha and all the other kings saw that, they decided to leave. But Rukmi is going to pursue a fight with Krishna. And this is what this verse today deals with. Though Rukmi had been defeated with others like a tala tree burned by a strong lightning bolt, he promised in front of the inauspicious rascals that if he did not defeat Krishna and Rukmini, he would not return. He made a vow. Unless I get Krishna, unless I kill Krishna and I get Rukmini back, I'm not going to go back to the kingdom of my father. And this is the bards that are telling Nanda Maharaj everything that's happening at that point. So Nanda asks, then what happened? And the messenger said, Rukmi was so thoughtless, but see the cowardly state of the others. They vowed to help, but fled without a show of strength, because they had hearts of frightened deer, not hearts dedicated to the Lord. In other words, he's telling them that they were cowards that just decided to leave and abandon the fight and let Rukmi deal with Krishna himself. And Nanda said, then what happened? And the messenger said, Rukmi lamented. Giving up those who lamented their loss, he took only his own Akshahini and went to battle. But looking behind, he found he was his own helper. He was all by himself. Actually, he was with his army, but everybody else who was assembled before had left. Since he could not depend on only himself, he thought and concluded that he could only talk to Krishna. I'm not going to even deal with Krishna. I'm not going to even fight with him, but I can talk with him. From far off, behind Krishna, he called, stop, stop. But Krishna continued to move, not hearing him because the sound of his chariot swallowed the sound of Rukmi's chariot. When he heard the sound of his chariot, he stopped. Rukmi began firing abuse from his mouth and arrows from his bow. Krishna deflected all the arrows of abuse by his smile and deflected Rukmi's fury by his armor made of Yogamaya. It's also explained that every time that Rukmi was throwing arrows at Krishna, Krishna was just cutting the string of the bow every single time he was being defeated. And Krishna was nonchalantly smiling at him and dealing with this crazy individual because he was crazy to actually oppose the will of the Supreme Lord. So I'm going to read from the Krishna book, Prabhupada's commentary. The whole catastrophe of the defeat was due to the envious nature of Rukmini's brother, Rukmi. Having seen his sister forcibly taken away by Krishna after he had planned to marry her to Shishupal, Rukmi was frustrated. Actually, Rukmi was going against the grain of the whole family because his father and the whole family wanted Krishna to marry Rukmini, or Rukmini to be married to the Supreme Lord. So after Shishupal, his friend and intended brother-in-law, returned home, Rukmi, very much agitated, was determined to teach Krishna a lesson personally. He called for his own soldiers, a military phalanx consisting of several thousand elephants, horses, chariots, and infantry, and equipped with this military strength, he began to follow Krishna to Dwarka. If you remember, when Krishna kidnapped Rukmini was coming out of the temple of Durga, and she was moving very slowly, to give time to Krishna to come close to her, grab her, put her on his chariot, and disappear. And all of a sudden, nobody knew where she was, where the chariot went, where Krishna was. Somehow or other, they just vanished. And so the fight ensued, and at that point, so many soldiers were killed. But Krishna had vanished. Krishna was on his way to Dwarka. And now Rukmi is going to follow him to Dwarka. And this is what's happening here, that he wants to avenge the kidnapping and wants to kill Krishna. To show his prestige, Rukmini promised all the returning kings, you could not help Shishupal marry my sister Rukmini, but I cannot allow Rukmini to be taken away by Krishna. I shall teach him a lesson. Now I'm going to follow him. He presented himself as a big commander. We've seen that he's a very proud soldier. And that's his downfall, his pride. And vowed before the princess, unless I kill Krishna in the fight and bring back my sister from his clutches, I shall not return to my capital city, Kundina. I make this vow before you all, and you will see that I shall fulfill it. After thus vibrating all these boasting words, Rukmini immediately got on his chariot and told his chariot driver to pursue Krishna. He said, I want to fight with him immediately. This cowherd boy has become proud of his tricky way of fighting with Kshatriyas because, of course, he presented that Krishna is from a Vaishya community, cowherd community, which in the eyes of everybody brings Krishna down in category because they are all very royal princes, kings, and Kshatriyas with great valor and great pride. But today I shall teach him a good lesson because he had the impudence to kidnap my sister. I, with my sharp arrows, shall teach him very good lessons indeed. Thus this unintelligent man, Rukmini, ignorant of the extent of the strength and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, voiced his impudent threats. He was a fool. He was such a fool. So I'm going to read the commentaries from this verse, and then we backtrack to other things. Again, in the purport, Srila Sridhar Swami points out that Kula Pamsana may be understood as a combination of the words Kula Pa, O master of the Yaru dynasty, and Amsana, O expert killer of enemies. The Acharya gives the grammatical details that make this interpretation possible. And let's remember what the verse says. You want to get the verse on the screen? Rukmini drew his bow with great strength and struck Lord Krishna with 3 arrows. Then he said, stand here for a moment, O defiler of the Yaru dynasty. He's attributing all kinds of really ugly words to Krishna. And that's because that is his nature. His nature is that he is proud, that he is a defiler of his dynasty, that he is a problem for the family. And so we remember Chanaka Pandit talking about how a bad son is a disgrace for the family, whereas a good son is an asset for the family. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Kula Pamsana, which are these are the words in the text, mean, O defiler of your dynasty, but it can also mean, O protector of the dynasty, O killer of enemies, Kulapa Amsana. And Kshanam Tishta can mean, stand there a moment, but it can also mean, Ara Ikshanam Tishta, stand so that I may glance upon you. So we see that the Sanskrit language is very, very flexible, and it can lend itself to so many different meanings. And the way that the words are put together or separated indicate different aspects. So everything that Rukmini is saying that appears to be an insult is nothing but praise of the Supreme Lord. And we've seen this so many times as we read the Srimad Bhagavatam. And one of the points is, for example, the exchange that Krishna has with the gopis, where by Rupa Goswami has that in one of his texts, where Krishna is saying one thing and it's being understood in a complete different way by the gopis, by Radharani. And there is a game of words, a play of words that makes the whole exchange very delightful. In this case, Rukmi is attributing to Krishna all the defects that Rukmi has. But then, if we understand how the presentation is made and how the words are divided, we see that what Rukmi is doing is actually praising the Supreme Lord. And we'll continue with Srila Jiva Goswami. By ignoring Rukmi, remember that the noise of Krishna's chariot was so loud that he couldn't hear Rukmi telling him to stop. But actually Krishna was fully aware of what was going on, and he was ignoring him. By ignoring Rukmi with a desire to incite him further, Krishna ignored his call and kept moving. Rukmi then shot at him with arrows from behind. Again, he spoke as Krishna kept moving. Or when he called Krishna, Krishna faced him. He then spoke with the pride of a warrior. Stop for a moment, O enemy. Or the real meaning can be, please stop so that I may see you quickly. So I may have darshan of you. Kshanam can mean quickly. So this is what is being said here. And we will see the next verse, if there is time, where he continues to insult Krishna. And at that point, he finds himself totally defeated. So went back to Shishupal, who was the one whose wife-to-be had been kidnapped. And Shishupal didn't have the heart, and didn't have the valor, and didn't have the stamina to fight Krishna. Maybe Shishupal, his cousin, Krishna, maybe Shishupal knew deep inside that Krishna was a person who could not be defeated and conquered. So remember how Krishna is being described in verse 22. Let's see here. Rukmi saying, this wicked-minded cowherd boy, infatuated with his prowess, has violently abducted my sister. That's Rukmi speaking. But today I will remove his pride with my sharp arrows. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says in regards to this, that fighting with Lord Krishna, Rukmi will relieve himself of his pretensions to being a great hero. His pride will be pulverized, but in a way that is natural, in a way that is kind and gentle, as far as his psyche is concerned, because Krishna is all magnanimous. Krishna is all so powerful, but so gentle and kind. Today we'll take away the heroic pride of the stupid cowherd boy who has forcibly taken my sister with my sharp arrows. That's his intent. The other meaning is, I will have my pride in my own heroism removed today by the sharp arrows of the cowherd boy who is merciful to even the wicked. So here is the nature of Krishna being presented very clearly in one of the commentaries. And Sridhar Swami, and this is from Jiva Goswami on verse 52, Sridhar Swami has given another meaning to the words Gopalasya and Sudurmatehe, so that Krishna is praised. Gopalasya means of he who protects the Vedas. So how enriching it is to have the commentaries of the Acharyas. Gopalasya means of he who protects the Vedas. Sudurmatehe means having a mind merciful, even to the demons. He does this to show that the meaning presented by Rukmi was not appropriate. The meaning is this. Gopalasya refers to Swayam Bhagavam, whose perfect, extraordinary sweetness and powers are presented in his pastimes and form. And so this, when I was reading this, I was thinking about how sometimes we say, why is Krishna allowing this? Why is God not doing this? Or how is he putting me in this predicament? I'm suffering so much. But we as devotees know better that Krishna's nature is all merciful, is all kind, and everything that happens is for our own benefit. We know that if we have heart surgery, it's not a pleasant experience, They cut us open and they do the surgery, and it's painful, but we come out of the surgery alive and well and healthy. So sometimes it is necessary to have some painful experiences for us to either eradicate karma or to become more and more fixed on the worship of the Supreme Lord and closer to rendering personal service to Him with love and affection. So we as devotees cannot join the ranks of those who say, why is God doing this to me? Because we know that everything He does is out of kindness, mercy, and love for our own benefit. And everything that happens in our spiritual life is for our own benefit. We think that we're praising the Supreme Lord. We think that we're worshiping Him. And yes, of course, we're making that attempt. We're doing that. We're chanting His holy name. We're worshiping the deities. We do so many things in the service of the Supreme Lord. But this is all His blessing to us so that we can become healed. We're doing this. But it is insignificant compared to what He's giving us. So, why do many people have inclinations elsewhere? He's very hard to understand. I will destroy my own pride in my prowess. That's Rukmi again, thinking. That's his psychological makeup. I will destroy my own pride in prowess. By his sharp arrows, his power is shown. By him, my sister was taken, and all kings will be defeated. Or by him, I'm defeated. He is being defeated by the Supreme Lord, and He's accepting us. The other meaning is this: I will offer my pride with arrows to the Lord Gopal, famous as the Devata of the mantra, since He has made me His younger brother. So He's acknowledging all these thoughts are going through the mind of Rukmi. So it's a very complex thing. And so if we have access to these commentaries, then we can understand further and deeper what is being presented here in this Bhagavatam. So what time it is? Okay. So here we know, and we've sent this, we've already read this, that Rukmi is being ignored because Krishna wants to incite him to heighten his hatred for him. But in hiding his hatred for him, he is making him much more of a person who can submit himself to the Supreme Lord, who can surrender to the Supreme Lord. Once his pride has been shattered, he's going to be a very, very dutiful servant of the Supreme Lord. But we'll see what happens, because there are so many verses still coming up. We're in verse 24, and there is about 60 or 62 verses in this chapter. So I'll go ahead, and because we have a few time, read verse 25. Yatra yassi surarame psitva dvankshava arishidya mandam nonda majina kuttayodina. Wherever you go, carrying off my sister, like a crow stealing sacrificial butter, I will follow to this very day. I shall relieve you of your false pride. You fool, you deceiver, you cheater in battle. That's Rukmi insulting the Supreme Lord. And it says here that it's very painful to hear this. But then we understand that what is being said actually hasn't been said, because what has been said is glorification of the Supreme Lord. Because he comes to understand the point that everything belongs to the Supreme Lord. That if somebody wants to take over Rukmini, the goddess of fortune, it is him, the one Rukmi, the one who wants to usurp this position as the enjoyer of Rukmini, the goddess of fortune, and that the goddess of fortune has to be by the side of Sri Krishna because she is Krishna's property. So, where are you going, not having stolen from me your own essence, which is Mahalakshmi? I will steal my sister, releasing her from you, and I will take her back to my house like a crow takes the sacrificial offering. Please break the pride of this false warrior, myself," that's Rukmi speaking, "who is a fool and a cheater." Havi means a sacrificial offering or ghee. So he's coming to realize, at least according to the Acharyas, that he is a cheater, that he is a fool, that he is a crow wanting to take over the position of Krishna, that he wants to kill Krishna, meaning to be killed by Krishna, but how? To be killed, to have his pride killed, and to have himself surrender to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So I'm going to stop here. Okay, the purport. I'll read the purport. The purport says, in his hysterical attack, Rukmi displays the very qualities he attributes to Sri Krishna. Every living being is part and parcel of the Lord and belongs to the Lord. Therefore, Rukmi was like a crow trying to steal the sacrificial offering meant for the enjoyment of the Lord. So, I think I'll go ahead and read the commentaries here now. Where are you going, taking my sister like a crow, taking away the offering? Today, fool, I will take your pride in being a false warrior and cheater. The other meaning is, I read this, where are you going? Not having stolen from me your own essence, Mahalakshmi. I will steal my sister, release her from you, will take her back to my house, like a crow takes the sacrificial offering. Please break the pride of this false warrior, myself, who is a fool. And Jiva Goswami, you're a crow, you are like a crow stealing butter. The word dvangsha means having one eye. The opposite, advangsha, means having many eyes. This ultimately means having 1,000 eyes, and that is Vishnu. You have attained Rukmini justly, since Lakshmi belongs to you. If your Shakti of Maya goes away, then it is possible to fight with me. You fight justly with rascals like us. I do not fight while facing you. I will give joy to you by having you performing your pastime of conquering rascals like me. This is Rukmi speaking. Or you did not steal my sister, who is like the sacrificial offering, since she is your share anyway, but I'm just like a crow. And Sanatana Goswami, stealing my sister was highly improper, like a crow stealing butter. Sridhar Swami explains the other meaning. Because of deception, you fight by cheating. The real meaning is, I will offer you my pride. Why? Because you are merciful, determined in fighting. So I'll stop here and see if anybody has any comments, realizations. But I encourage everybody to get these commentaries from the Acharyas, because so much can be added to the classes, that especially those that don't have purports by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. And there is a wealth. And then we can actually understand the situation, the psychological dealings back and forth of the different personalities that are appearing to us in the book. Comments, questions, realizations, corrections? So we have to realize that Rukmi is somebody who's actually hurting his family because he's a bad son. He's not a devotee. He's not. Chanakapanda explains that a good son is one who is a devotee and who has knowledge. And Rukmi is a fool. He has no knowledge. He has no understanding of who he is going to be fighting, who is that personality that has taken his sister away. And he is ignorant, and he is definitely averse to the Supreme Lord. So he has terrible qualities, and that is going to cause, and it has caused, in these verses we have seen before, a terrible war. So many people have died, and it is also hinted in the commentaries of the Acharyas that when all the soldiers and the different leaders of the soldiers return home and give up fighting and leave Brookmead to himself, to his own resources, as we saw at the beginning, so many of them, many more of them had already left their bodies on the battlefield. And these are very gory verses that we have seen before in this chapter. So, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Thank you for your attendance.
Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate. Gokula Tarani Mandala Mahite. Gokula Tarani Mandala Mahite. Gokula Tarani Mandala Mahite. Gokula Rani Mandala Mahite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate 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 Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe Harini Sutta Brinda Vipineshe Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe Harini Sutta Brinda Vipineshe Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe Harini Skuta Brinda Vipineshe Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe Harini Skuta Brinda Vipineshe Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Radhe Jaya Madhava Dayate Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Vijabhanu Dadi Navashashi Leke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishake Vijabhanu Dadhe Navasashi Leke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishake Vijabhanu Dadhi Navasashi Leke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishake Vijabhanu Dadhi Navasashi Leke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishake Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate 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 Karunam Kurumai Karuna Bharate Tanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite Karuna Mayurmai Karuna Bharate Tanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite Karunam Kurumai Karuna Bharate Tanaka Sanatana Varnita Charita Karuna Sanatana Dvarnita Charite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate 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 Jaya Radha Golokananda Radha Golokananda Radhe Jaya Radhe Golokananda Radha Golokananda Radhe Jaya Radha Golokananda Radha Golokananda Radhe Radha Golokananda Radha Golokananda Radhe Jaya Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Jaya 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 Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, 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 Jai 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 Shri Radhe, 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 Jai Shri Radhe, 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 Jai 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 Shri Radhe, 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 Jai 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 Shri Radhe, 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 Jai 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 Shri Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Shri Gaura Nitai ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Golokananda ki jai, 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 Shri Radhe Sham. O Radha, all glories unto you, all glories unto you, beloved of Radha, object of worship for all the young girls of Gokula. You dress yourself in such a way as to increase Lord Damodar's love and attachment for you. You are the controller of Vrindavan, the pleasure groves of Lord Hari. You are a new moon arisen from the ocean of King Rishabhanu. You are the friend of Lalita, and your wonderful qualities, friendliness, kindness, and faithfulness to Krishna, endear you to Vishaka. You are an ocean of compassion, and your divine characteristics are described by the four Kumaras, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanandana, and Sanat Kumara. O Radha, please be merciful to me. Srila Rupa Goswami ki jai, Srila Rupa Manjari ki jai. Chaitodarpanam marjanam, Bhava Mahadavagni nirvapanam, Shreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitaranam, Vidyavadu Jivanam, Ananda Sarvatmasnapanam, Parvidayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, Haribol. Amakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti Tatrapitani Amita Smaranena Kala Etadrishita Vakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishami Hajjani Nanuraga Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Suhishuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajagadisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhakti Rohaitaki Twai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Budao Kripayata Vabada Pankaja Stita Duli Sadrashim Vichintaya Nayanam Galadashu Daraya Varanam Gad Gadurudaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vabukada Tavanama Grahane Bhavishyati Yugayatam Nimishena Chakshusha Pravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlishava Padamratam Anastumam Adarshanam Marma Hatakarotiva Yatatatava Vidadatulam Pato Mat Prananatastusa Evanapara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It enables us to fully taste the... We're always anxious. Sorry about that. Oh, my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you've invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh, my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself, or in the straw in the street, more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and in such effect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. Oh, my Lord, be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name. When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? Oh, Govinda, feeling your separation, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally. Sri Shastika Ki Jai. I just wanted to say we had an ecstatic Harinam yesterday. It was a football Saturday in Chapel Hill, and a lot of people were there. I've posted a video and some pictures, and we invite everyone to come out next week because there's another football game next week, and we'll post the timings and everything for that, but it's really worth the time to come and chant because there's lots and lots of people, and everybody hears the holy name, and even if they just walk by and kind of, wave at us or something like that, that's eternal benefit for them. Hare Krishna. And Leela Shakti joined us, and Leela Shakti's on the video, so leading the kirtan.